The worst part about being gay is dating. Gay dating sucks. And I think dating is one of the most beautiful, amazing things ever. Having a partner to do stuff with, having someone to cuddle, someone to kiss, someone to touch, and just be there to support you is one of the most amazing things ever that every person on this earth deserves. And being a gay dude makes it really difficult. And I think the first reason, the biggest reason why that is because compared to straight people, gay dudes, they only have a certain amount of people. So instead of 50% women on the earth, you only have like, I think it's now like 1 out of 5 people are gay, maybe 1 out of 6, maybe more, maybe less. And out of those gay people, right, obviously you have to be attracted to them, but you also have to make sure that you guys are sexually compatible, which I think is the dumbest thing. And I'll talk about this later, but obviously if two tops don't make a bottom, so you need one top, one bottom. So depending on which side you're on, you're going to cut that in half, or not even in half. There's probably more bottoms than there are tops. And a lot of bottoms only want a top, a mask top. So there's that small percentage of gay men that actually can meet and be compatible. And then if you're not in a big city, then you might as well forget about gay dating. I thought it was a joke when I used to live in LA and Austin, when I read about gay men who would drive like a couple hours to go meet a gay dude for a first time date. And now that I live in a small town in the South, it's 1,000% true. There just aren't a lot of gay men that are openly gay that you can actually go on dates with. You might be able to get a decent hookup every now and then, and that's pretty rare, but to go on an actual date, it's like really, really impossible. So that slims it down even smaller, right? We start at the top and now it's like really, really small. And then on top of all those things, as someone who has dated a lot of gay men and been on a lot of gay dates, a lot of gay men can be very stereotypical. Like there's always the gay that parties a lot, that's super flamboyant, drag queen kind of gays, right? And then you have like the super popular gays. They probably came off from like a really well-off family. They're just like super hot, attractive. They only date super hot, attractive typically. And then you kind of have like the more engineering gays, like the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon kind of vibes, who are just like really kind of like a little more autistic, engineering, And a lot of those stereotypes don't mix and match. Some of them do, but I've noticed a lot of gay men are very similar in their interests and like what they do. Sometimes not, sometimes yeah, like a lot of them are. So it narrows it down even further. And I think the second thing that makes gay dating so difficult is that it's really hard to tell who is gay. And a lot of younger generations now, like a lot of them do identify as gay, but do they identify as like queer? Do they identify as demi? Do they, like there's so many different things. And again, a lot of them are probably straight. So it makes it really difficult to go up and ask someone like, hey, are you gay? And that's like a really weird question to ask someone in general, and I hated being asked that question. And I've always had the issue where I kind of think everyone's gay. Everyone's at least a little gay. So I spent a lot of time, trying to get a boyfriend in the wrong places, or hoping I would get a boyfriend in the wrong places. And a lot of straight men, you might think that, there might be a little bit of a spark, but a lot of straight men, they like being around gay men because gay men are going to give them a perspective that their straight friends are probably not going to give them. They like the ego boost, having a gay dude, especially a hot gay dude, tell you how hot you are, or even if they're not hot, even if they're like super submissive, right? Not very masculine. Having, a gay dude tell you how hot you are as a straight dude and how much women are going to like you is a huge boost to their ego. So a lot of straight men will just keep gay men around just to like boost their ego. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes straight men and gay men can be friends. But a lot of straight men really like how great the gay man makes their ego feel. And then lastly, like the third thing, I would say this is probably one of the most difficult things. Like this is when reality sets in. If you can find that narrow cross section of gay men that you're somehow compatible with, and you go on a date and you somehow end up both liking each other, not all gay men are 100% out. And for a lot of gay men, that's a huge game changer. Like a lot of gay men on their bios on the apps, they'll put like, no DLs. It's really common to see no DLs, send a face pic, whatever, right? You know what I mean? And a lot of them are like, I want a man that I can bring home to my family. And that's a huge issue if the guy you're seeing is DL and not out to everyone. And a lot of gay men who are out aren't going to put up with a guy that isn't out. They're going to want that public display of affection. They're going to want that family time. And some families aren't even accepting of, their son's gayness. Like, you know what I mean? Like if family is really important for you, and they grow up Catholic, Muslim, Southern Baptist kind of vibes, like chances are they probably are not going to accept it. And chances are they're never going to want to see their son doing gay things with another dude. Even if they eventually come around to accepting it, it could take years. And by that time, like the gay dude's like who's open and his family's supportive and okay with it, it's just not going to mesh with someone that's still in the closet, or someone whose family or friends just don't accept them. You know what I mean? So that creates like a huge social problem, and it makes gay dating so difficult. If you think about it, it's like a really, really small percentage, and then you have all of the odds stacked against you. So yeah, that's why I personally do not like gay dating. Hope you enjoy.